And it's always the same players. And tonight I wanted to call out these two, Josie Moran and David Blaine. Why don't you make a reappearance, David, and explain yourself? You know what's really would be handy is if a guy like that pretends to be on the up and up. Who's that guy? He's kind of. I asked him to interview Virginia. He makes $30 million a year now. He's obviously controlled opposition. What's the guy? He's bald.
He's a reporter or journalist?
No, he's the podcast guy. What's his name? Oh, I can't think of him. He's just a total dude, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, yeah. Are you talking about Joe Rogan?
Yeah, Rogan.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have someone like Rogan who could do good, right? People should reach out to Joe Rogan and say, you should really interview Maria Farmer. Of course he won't. Because I wrote to him and begged him to interview Virginia. And you know what he did? A week later, he interviewed one of the perps. He interviewed one of the perpetrators. Nope. He interviewed the stupid ass, sorry, I'm mad again. He interviewed the dumb chef, the really dumb chef. Chef Andy Stewart was actually intelligent, at least. And so it was the second chef, I can't think of his name, the one who witnessed all the abuse, never said a word, inherited $1 from the estate. Joe Rogan interviewed him. Oh, yeah, and they yucked it up on there. I thought I was going to die. I'm like, why? What is happening? That these people, I actually was going through chemo, and I literally threw up when I saw it. And I felt so disillusioned. And everybody's like, oh, Joe Rogan, he'll tell you the truth. No, he won't. But let's try to make him tell the truth. Why doesn't somebody challenge Joe Rogan into inviting one of us on? So, I mean, George and I could go on there together.
Yeah, I've been trying. Well, multiple people I think have been trying to get Ryan on there. Even going back to last year, I remember when. Well, it was Rogan as well as Eric Weinstein, because Weinstein came out. I think it was in 2020. It was like, what's going on with this Epstein thing? I don't know if you remember that, but yeah, it's tough. It's like, why, if they, I don't know. They have their own jobs.
He doesn't need to, he needs to interview us. I mean, if the guy's going to interview someone, it needs to be one of the survivors, not people who've studied it. We were there. And I think it's great that everybody's documented it and been trying to bring attention to it, but those aren't the people that need interviewing. The people that need interviewing, he needs to interview Virginia. And that would be just like the best interview.
That would get so many views. Well,
I know.
It's tough to say what's going on in his head because of, he's just in such a powerful position now. It's hard not to think he's not being influenced by some powerful dark entity.
He is. And he needs to snap out of it and do some good for the society. Everyone's like, applauds him, and he's such a great guy. Really? Prove it. I want to see him interview us. I want to see somebody in the mainstream media give us 10 minutes to tell what really happened. And no one will. They edit the crumbs out of it. They cut down the story. They protect Wexner. Oh, and I wanted to say, George was tweeting, and it wasn't actually about the prosecutor at SDNY. He was tweeting about Bill Peplow, who's one of the men who participated in this pedophile ring very close to Les Wexner and Alan Kramer. Bill Peplow, someone caught wind of this, that George was tweeting about Bill Peplow, and so the SDNY contacted George's probation officer, and his probation officer said, take down that tweet. And he said, there's nothing illegal about it. I won't do no such thing. And they said, well, you could go to prison because that could be perceived as a threat. There's no threat made. They're trying to save their names. Linda Reed, Les Wexner, all these people who have persecuted and imprisoned children and young, vulnerable adults and driven them to suicide or pushed them off balconies or drugged them until they died or whatever they did to a lot of these children who are missing. What did they do? And why is this continuing? Like, Addie, we've got to get this out there, And I just feel, I could be under a time frame because I may die. I have cancer, and I can't be a voice to this forever. And I really need it to be said. in a really public way. I need it to be said that when I made that report in 1996, Virginia was a little toddler. She was a toddler. She'd never been raped. She was a baby. I made the report. And I'm using her as the example because she was so brutally abused. And I just don't know how many more lives they have to destroy till somebody cares. I think we should all stop caring about all that shit in Hollywood and all this garbage and start caring about our future, which is children, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. I think, people do care. It's just not enough people yet.
They don't care. They need to make more noise.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody, I know there's, all these, they always create distractions to distract from what's happening, what they're doing. And they have their little puppet things and they're always declaring war everywhere and all that shit. The point is, all that aside, people need to care domestically what's happening to the children in this country. And they need to care now. And we have such a corrupt FBI. I wanted to say something about the guy, Brian Hamway, who was drugging Amelia and George. The first night they met Hamway, now the FBI created an entire fake profile for him in the CIA and everything. So he was allegedly a doctor, right? And his real name is Brian Hamawi, but he went by Hamway. And they made him very credible. So when he was Googled, well, yeah, Brian Hamway came up. He's a doctor. Here's his photo. They met him actually in a restaurant. He approached Amelia. Of course, it wasn't weird because she was the most, literally, people need to look her up. Amelia Young. She was the most beautiful, She was the most beautiful woman. And this guy, who was a very handsome man, came up and approached her, so it didn't seem weird. But then he started telling George, he said, hey, this was at the Roxy, which was a nightclub. He said, hey, I'd just like to know if you can get me some ecstasy. So here he's already trying to get them to commit a crime.